Hey everyone, Cleva here, welcome to my channel, and today I'm talking about my 2020 reading goals. Yes, it is almost 2020. I have as much problems, believe me, as you guys do. So this video is part of my big December video experience, because I'll be coming at you with like 20 videos or something in the month of December. Now I forgot to explain like sort of the division for these videos in my previous video, so in my December TBR. So the idea is going to be that the first half of the videos in December are going to be about 2020, so about my 2020 reading goals. So I will be giving you a short overview of them at this point, but I will be going more in depth into them in future videos. Then I also have videos about like anticipated reads for 2020 or authors I want to discover in 2020s and things like that. And then the second part of the month of December is going to go more into the past year, into 2019, like, yeah, cat. So it's going to be looking at my reading goals for 2019 and how I did with them, like best books, worst books, most surprising books, most disappointing books, all of these types of videos. Those will be coming out in the second part of December. So without further ado, let's look at 2020 and what my plans are. So one of my main goals for 2020 is to read more fantasy. So I have read quite a lot of fantasy this year. I think about a third of the books that I've read were fantasy this year. However, a lot of those were rereads. I'm doing a reread for Harry Potter and a reread for Stormlight Archive, which means that at least 5 books this year that I've read fantasy-wise have been rereads. And I haven't really discovered any like major fantasy series that I absolutely love this year neither. So my goal in 2019 was also to read more fantasy, but in 2020 I'm definitely also going to go for that goal, and I'm going to make it a little bit more fleshed out. So I've got a number of series that I really want to get to in 2020. This video will be coming your way shortly, and so in total I've given a priority to 5 series, 5 trilogies more or less, I think. Some of them don't have all the books out yet, but so those are the fantasy books that I really want to be getting to. Of course that's hopefully not going to stop me from picking up anything else that I stumble upon in the year 2020. So fantasy is a major priority for me for 2020. Apart from that, I will be continuing to read the Booker Prize shortlist. As if you've seen my Booker Prize shortlist videos this year, then you know that I don't necessarily finish them before the shortlist, before the winner is announced, and I'm not anticipating that changing in 2020. So I still have 3 books on the shortlist of 2019 to carry over into 2020. I expect in 2020 that I'll have a similar situation. I'm also participating in the BookTube Book Awards, and so I will be reading part of their long list, short list for that. I signed up for several reading months. I think I signed up for February and March, and then again for the latter months of reading, so right before the announcement of the video of the winners. So I don't have any idea about what I'll be reading for that, because the long list is only going to be selected in January, I think. But so expect some reading for that to come your way as well in 2020. Now, a major thing that I want to tackle in 2020, which is partly going to be tackled with the fantasy catch-up, but not entirely, is the shelves. So on these shelves there are, recently I counted them and there were 138 unread books, but I've also bought new books, so they've increased by, I don't know, like 10 or something like that. So I want to tackle part of that next year. Now there are multiple ways in which I'm doing. As I already told you before, the fantasy catch-up will get rid of some of them. I also plan to digitalize this TBR, so I have a digital want-to-read shelf on Goodreads, but it does not contain all of these books. It contains some of them, but it doesn't contain all of them. So the goal is to get all of these into my to-read list on Goodreads, and then each month the goal will be to read one of the books on my to-read shelf on Goodreads based on a random number generator. I'm also creating a list of 12 books I want to read in 2020, and I think all of them, except maybe one, are on those shelves, so that's also another 11, maybe 12 books tackled that way. part of that list of 12 books that I want to read in 2020 includes some of the oldest books on my TBR, so a video about those is coming up soon. I will be giving you a video about like the 10 oldest books or something on my TBR, but I'll only be committing to reading the 3 oldest books on my TBR, which have been on there since 2011. Like, yeah, need to be getting around to those. Initially I had also planned to read more books from the library, but I'm going to be abandoning that goal, I think. So the idea had been to like dedicate 3 months out of the year to only reading library books. However, I feel that because I have so many unread books on my shelves that I definitely want to prioritize that over reading more from the library. So I'm going to abandon it for 2020, but it might pop up in 2021, we'll see. So basically these are the main goals. I want to read more fantasy and I want to get a lot of these unread books off of my shelves. So you will be seeing some videos pop up in the next weeks in which I'm going through the books that I want to read for the fantasy catch-up, the books that I've settled on for my 12 books for 2020, the digitalizing my TBR video, books about authors that I want to read in 2020, books about authors that I've already read but I want to read more of in 2020, and books about anticipated releases, for videos about anticipated releases in 2020. So these are some of the videos coming up. I might have forgotten some of them as well, but I hope you're looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of video filming for me, a lot of video editing. I'm not very great at like timing all of that, procrastination, but I'm definitely going to make I'm definitely going to do my best to try and discipline myself in this. But okay, so see you guys for the next one. Definitely let me know down below what your goals are for 2020. Any tips you have for me for my 2020 goals. Please add on to the fantasy series list that I already have in my head, but there's always more fantasy to explore out there. But so yeah, let me know down below and I'll be happy to chat with you guys about it. See you guys!